I never thought I would live long because growing up in LA, I've been shot at a couple times. I've been in situations like I told you, been chased around. I had a guy pull out a machete on me one time, just some crazy situations. So I remember and so like I said, going into my early 20s, I didn't think I would live a long time because I had friends who got killed and stuff, and I would see this stuff. And I remember me and my wife, we went to Vegas one weekend. And so on our way to Vegas, we're driving to Vegas, and I'm in this funk.
Mm.
And I'm talking about I'm not going to live long. And we're driving to Vegas, and I don't think I'm gonna, and we're just talking about life and death. But the whole moral of it is I don't think I'm gonna live that long. And so we go to a restaurant and we sit down to eat, and the lady brings us, you know how they say, do you want a glass of water? What do you want to drink? And I say some water. And we just sat down. And as we're about to start a conversation, I'm not lying to you. You know what the waitress says? She says, by the way, if something is bothering you, you're going to live a long time. Out the blue. And me and my wife looked at each other, was like, and when she said that, it was like, wow. It was such a calm feeling over me. And my perspective kind of just changed. And that kind of helped my faith in a higher power because why would she say that? And she had no idea how I was feeling. And it just came out the blue so naturally. And so I truly believe that because of my higher power, when it's time for me to go, there's not a problem. It was just time for me to go.
Mhm.
Because now when I go places like I go back to LA sometimes and I go in South Central and I was just in Watts yesterday. And so now when I go to places that some people say is not that safe, because I have such a comfort mentally and I know my vibe that I bring, that whatever happens, it's okay. And I'm okay with that. So yeah, that's my power watching over me. So my power is gonna take care of me.
Cool. I like that. You know, your story reminds me of, I wanna give a shout out to Charles Bibbs. He's a local artist in Riverside, also nationwide. And he was saying, there's like, more or less like there's angels and demons walking among us,
Mm-hmm.
right? I guess like in human form, right? And so it made me think like, that was just like an angel, like that was in the form of a waiter or a
Mm-hmm.
waitress that came up and said, "Oh, let me give them the insight. What's going on?"
I'm, it was just I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah, surreal.
Yes, but it was just the way I felt on the inside was just like,
A breath of fresh air.
yeah,
Yeah,
because I was really worried about that. Like I was really, really worried about that.
yeah. It's so interesting because I think I'm not sure if any other culture in America has that, but I know even for myself, it's like normal to think like, oh, like I'm gonna die by 25, especially for black men. I don't think I'm not sure if any other culture has that commonality in the youth, and this is the youth mindset.
Right. Because
You
you
know?
got to remember, depending on where we grow up, most of us, we're in survival mode.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the other cultures, they're in go mode,
Hmm.
total different modes. Survival mode means I'm always looking over my shoulder. And then I'm also always being watched.
Hmm.
When you're a black man, just to be honest with you, you don't know what people think of you. I had the neighbor on my street where I bought my house.
Hmm.
And his name is Scott, and I like Scott a lot. We're really cool. He told me straight out when I moved on the street, he didn't know what the hell to expect from me because he's used to seeing what he sees on TV,
Yeah.
you know. And I said, I ain't nothing like that. I may have grew up around it, but I'm a man just like you.
Yeah.
I want peace just like you. But he told me straight out he didn't know what to expect when I moved on the street.
Yeah. Huh. Not we're not judged by the content of our character,
Hmm.
but by the color of our skin. Unfortunately,
Always.
that's why I want to give a shout out to Danny Tillman. He was saying, he's like people look at me different when I put on a suit as opposed to when I'm out here with my clothes and a gold chain hanging out.
Hmm.
It's just eh, it's interesting. It's a whole nother lifestyle and perspective that we have to live by. And I think, in my opinion, this is what makes the Black American community so strong and resilient is by going through these tests.
Right.
and having to stand for it
Oh,
and
yes, I
still be
totally agree.
positive and still being positive. I remember someone would said that it says a lot about the African American, Afro American spirit by still being so warm and welcoming and
Mm,
going through so much trauma and issues for centuries in this country. Like, says a lot about their spirit. And I was like, good
look,
point.
the average black man has a great spirit.
Hmm.
The average black man, if he wanted to, he might be pissed off. He could be pissed off because he go through so much. You can make it the case that he can be so pissed off. He has a right to be pissed off and going off on people
Hmm.
because of the things that he's dealt with. I've dealt with a lot of BS, a lot of it, and a lot of it because I am black.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't let that get to me. I'm like, when I step in a room, I've stepped in many rooms and be the only black man,
Hmm.
and it don't even bother me at all. It used to kind of rub me a little bit. You looking around, but now I'm like, I belong here just like you.
Yeah.
And people look at me, but that don't bother me.
Yeah.
If you leave,
That part.
exactly.